Hi guys, let me go fix the lighting real quick. Yeah. Hey, got him. Hi guys. I bet you're wondering why I put the title the way I did. Well, I'm in a lot of pain. Probably can't even hear me. Jesus. So, you guys are probably wondering why I put the title, why I put the title of I'm in pain, yay. Well, I am on the lucky few people, well, women in the US, I guess, who suffer from this. It's called PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Now, I'm not sure, give me a sec, actually. Now, it's a lot of women are affected by this. I know my mom is, and my aunt. And I wasn't diagnosed with it until I was about 15 or 16. What it is basically is the ovary is just my ovaries at least are just covered in cysts. And it hurts a lot. So my cycles aren't regular. I don't have them every month. I can have spans of months before, 6 months in between cycles. And that doesn't really help, especially if, you're like me who want to try and start a family. It's a very difficult thing. It's basically, it can't be cured. Sadly, it really can't. It can be treated, but it can't be cured. I've been on a lot of things. Hell, I've been on metformin, and that was said to help. And I mean, my aunt takes metformin religiously, and she had a hysterectomy, and she still gets phantom pains and whatnot. And what sucks is me being a young 21-year-old, almost 22, I can't easily get a hysterectomy, which sucks. I am incapacitated by pain a lot of the time. Earlier, I was doing okay. I made breakfast for me and my fiance, but it was just horrible. This pain is just awful. I haven't brushed my hair yet because I just can't be fucked too right now. I really can't be fucked. Basically, and especially with me being an overweight young woman, I am overweight. I'm about 200 and something pounds. Yeah. And I've heard it all. It's like how one of my old doctors even made a comment about me being, akin to a baby cow. So yeah, I've heard it all. But, it affects hold on. Yeah. So it's not really as common, but it affects it's not really that common, I guess. Only about, from what I'm reading, there's more than like 200,000 cases in the US alone. And that's not really, honestly, that's not that much. When I was first diagnosed, there really wasn't a lot of information on PCOS just yet. Still, but it really affects hormones and whatnot. Like I said, it affects my menstrual cycle, and I just started mine this morning. I know, TMI. I don't fucking care, but the cramps are honestly horrid. I can't, even a heating pad doesn't work. And that usually works for a lot of my cramping. Heating pads haven't worked yet. I took some like Advil or Aleve. That hasn't helped. I took that almost 2 hours ago and I've been in constant pain. The only thing that really seems to work is pot, and I'm out currently. But it also affects like hormones and whatnot. It can, fuck with your testosterone and shit like that. Like, I have issues with like hairs right here on my upper lip, and that is something that bugs the fuck out of me because I don't have any control over it. And I've gotten comments before like, oh, you have a little mustache, and it's like, no, that's not okay. Usually things like that doesn't bug me, but when it comes to something that I can't control hormonally, it does bug me. Like it's hard for me to lose weight because of it. It's really difficult for me to lose weight because of it. It's especially hard because I'm in a lot of pain. Especially right now, all I want to do is like just double over and be like, oh, but I can't because we got to go shopping later on today. The only thing that's really helped me with this pain, and what sucks is the pain can get so bad my legs go numb. And that's what sucks, is my legs can go numb. And I mean, it varies from person to person. It really does. I mean, there's someone, I don't remember where, I want to say in the Middle East, who, this young woman, like, was able to, I don't really, it was a while ago that I saw this, but a young woman in the Middle East, like, because of the PCOS and it threw all the hormones out of balance, grew a beard. And I mean, she accepted it with grace. Like, I applaud her for that. I applaud her. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I would have been so I'm so self-conscious as it is. I wouldn't have been able to do that. But basically it's a thing where, oh, my back, I can't get comfy. I can't. I'm either sitting, laying in the fetal position, or whatever, but I'm in a lot of pain. Nothing like I said, 2 hours, almost 2-3 hours ago, I took medicine to help with the pain, to try and get on top of it. And my legs, like, my cramps are hurting so bad, my legs are going numb. It sucks. I've tried birth control, and that hasn't helped. And like I said, I couldn't be fucked to brush my hair, so leave me alone. it sucks. I mean, there's a lot of different symptoms. There's a lot of different symptoms. Like, the most common is, like, I don't really have, like, a lot of acne, though. So that's something that I never had to deal with, luckily. I mean, I get the occasional zit or pimple, but that's it. Really, that's it. But, like, like abnormal, menstruation, absent of, heavy, you know, and then there was also talk from my doctor to my mother that I might have, on top of this, endometriosis, on top of the PCOS. I already have issues. I don't need more. Like, like the PCOS, for me at least, it affects it does affect my depression. I get extremely testy when I'm like this. I get extremely bitchy. And all I really want to do is, like, eat. And so, yeah, it affects my weight because of that. It affects my weight. There's, like I said, there's not a lot, like, clinically, there's not a whole lot I can do personally. Like I said earlier, because I'm so young and, I might be able to have a child, I can't easily get a hysterectomy or anything like that. And for those of you who don't know what a hysterectomy is, it's basically you're going into a surgery to take out your whole uterus. So you can't have a child. I mean, there's been weird cases. So, I'm not saying you absolutely 100% cannot. But that's the whole line of it. You can't have a child. I mean, I've actually heard of people who've had kids after their uterus or their tubes have been tied or whatever, but it's, it's, I'm in a lot of pain. I've actually had, workplaces not believe me. And that's a pretty hot topic for me right now, is people don't believe women. Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, well, I mean, I worked at a gas station. It was a pretty big gas station, actually. It had, like, it served ice cream and shit like that. It was a frozen hell. I hated it. I was actually on my cycle when I first started working there, and I couldn't do anything. And my boss got so mad at me because I was being lazy. I wasn't being lazy. I can't move. I'm in so much pain. I literally cannot move. Like, when if I'm home, I try not to move. I will literally, if I know I'm not going anywhere for a few, I will literally try. I will lay, like, towels down on my bed, a heating pad, get some tea. Oh, tea sounds nice right now. Where did that one bag go? That had my tea in it. I'm gonna make me some tea in a sec. But, she got mad at me because I was being lazy. Now, I'm guessing a lot of you probably don't understand what PCOS is. Like I said early in the beginning, it's polycystic ovarian syndrome. I have cysts in or on. It can be a combination of in or on or both of the ovaries. I have cysts. My ovaries are basically consisted of cysts at this point. I've always had issues with my menstrual. I've always have had issues. Always. And at this point, I would just rather have a hysterectomy. I mean, I wouldn't be able to have a kid or anything, but I would not be in pain, at least. And that's the sad truth for a lot of these young women, young girls as well, who have this condition. It can't be cured. It can't be cured. You can be put on medication for it, you can get better from it, but you can never get rid of it. And that's just the thing is, I can't live like this. I'm being called a liar because people don't know this exists. I'm being called a liar for it. And, I've lived with this my whole life. I've dealt with this since I was like 12. I have dealt with this. And I don't get my cycles that often. But when I do, they hit fast and they hit hard and heavy. And like I said, the pain can get so bad both my legs from the hips down will go numb. And I can't walk. I can't do anything. It sucks. I am a pain-filled being. Doesn't help my anxiety. This kind of pain causes me so much anxiety that I am almost always in tears. Or I'm wanting to cry because of it. Because I am just so anxious about it. I hate it. And like I said earlier, heating pads don't even do anything. Heating pads. It sucks. It really does. And I was working at a hookah bar just down the street from where I'm at, and it really did. It hurt because I was going through my cycle again there, and because I hadn't had it for a few months. I hadn't had it for like 2 months since like August. July actually, July. So the last like 2 weeks of July I had it, then August went by, nothing. Then September, I was working, like earlier in September, I was working there. And I started having some really bad cramping. I couldn't move. I froze in my spot, in the spot I was in. Luckily, I was doing dishes. So the water was able, backsplash from the hot water on, like, it kind of I don't know what happened, but it started to help me for some reason. But my boss was like, she didn't understand what it was. She didn't understand what PCOS was, and I would try to explain it to her, and she would just kind of wave me off like, that's disgusting, I don't want to know about that. And it's like, well, one of your workers has it, so you kind of have to know what it is. You know? Like, I mean, I wasn't really working there. I was just kind of helping out there, really. I was really just helping out there. And, you know, like, someone who, you know, kind of helps around here has this, you should really, you know, it hurt me, I think, more than it really should have, because I have a lot of issues anyway, mentally, physically. I have a lot of issues anyway. And so it makes it hard for me to work in certain conditions. And, you know, I was just trying to explain to her what it was. Like, I have PCOS, you know. All I was trying to tell her is, like, I have this condition called PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. You know, and I was just trying to explain to her what it was, saying that, you know, it causes me to have cysts in and or on my ovaries themselves. And it just causes me to have a lot of pain. I'm not able to really move that quickly. You know, stuff like that. And she would just kind of wave me off. Like, you know, she didn't want anything to do with it. And it bugged me. It bugged the fuck out of me. I was talking to a coworker when I was still working there. Like, it's like, you know, it's like, why does she want to know this? I mean, I don't know if Ohio is a right to work state or not, but I don't understand why she would just kind of wave me off like that. And she was like, well, and the said coworker was like, well, she's like that forever. She's like that to everyone. And it's like, well, that's not kosher. You know, that's not very kosher of an employer to just kind of wave everyone off and say, like, it's every week, it's something with you or something like that. It's like, I have my issues and I try to keep them under control when I'm working. Sometimes it's not that easy. I will be honest. It's never easy. It's not easy. Usually being in like obscure positions work for the pain because it kind of leaves it for a minute. But lately, my cycles have been so extremely heavy that, like, I can go through a box of tampons in like 3 days. That's how bad it can get. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, like, why a lot of women, for like women, like the women's movement, like feminists and all that. Like, I'm not saying I'm a feminist, but, you know, cheaper products. I mean, us women, especially for me, I have a certain brand of tampons I use because they don't hurt me. They're small enough that they don't hurt me. And a lot of, you know, they're so expensive to like a big box of what I usually use, almost $20. That's not okay. Like, for real, like someone, like when I was homeless before, I still had to get these specific kind, and I wouldn't be always able to get them. And that's what sucks. Is, you know, like women's shelters, you know, they have the standard big ones, you know, standard ones that a lot of women, especially on teenage girls, can't use because they're not used to them. I mean, I started using them when I was 12, tampons, because, you know, a whole story I'm not going to get into. I didn't know what else to do. They were so heavy, pads didn't work. It, you know, up until I was about 14, when I really first started having sex. You know, I mean, granted, it wasn't, I guess, legal. But, you know, my boyfriend at the time, who was just like a couple months older than I was, he was still 14. He was he was like I turned 14 before him. I turned 15 before him, actually. But, you know, when I lost my virginity, that's when I was able to start using tampons more comfortably. Because they're evil. Tampons, I will admit, are evil sons of bitches. They are. They're so fucking evil. But that's just the thing is, you know, I got sick on the days where they would have these like videos for sex ed for when you're in like grade school. I got sick on those days. I couldn't go in because I was going through exactly what they were talking about. And so I had no idea what the fuck was going on with my body. You know, and I've been an anxious being my whole life. I've been an anxious little being my whole life. And I felt like I couldn't go to my mother, even though she was she was well versed in the medical, in anything medicinal, medical, whatever. Well versed. Okay, she was a medical assistant. She could have been a nurse. She honestly, she could have, if she was able to do it, she would have been a nurse, and she would have been a damn good nurse or a doctor. My opinion. She would have been a damn good doctor. But I finally went to her and was like, this is what's going on. I don't know what's happening. You know, and I told her, it's like, I haven't, you know. And I told her, it's like, I haven't been having one consistently. And I got scared because, you know, at the time, I didn't know how you got pregnant. I didn't know how, you know, women got pregnant. And I got scared. It's like, you know, and just randomly I asked her, it's like, what if? And she looked at me and was like, are you having sex? And it's like, what does that have to do with getting pregnant? You know, I was a naive little being. And she was just like, okay, honey, let me explain this to you. And so she explained it to me, and I was like, oh, that's how it works. Okay. Well, then why am I not having these consistently like most girls? You know, like there's always something wrong with me growing up, and there is always something wrong with me now. I didn't mean to do that. And there's always something wrong with me now. Kind of sucks for me to say that, but it's true. There's always something wrong with me. But I mean, it's not like it's my fault, Kyla. You know better than that. You know better than that, baby. I want to cry so bad. See, like when I'm like this, I'm like always almost on the verge of tears. Almost always. Like my legs are going so numb right now because of the pain. It's so bad. I need to get more Pamprin. Pamprin seems to be the only thing that really helps. And I get the extra strength Pamprin. But, you know, it's I've lived with this my whole life. You know, you would think I would figure out a way to deal with it, but it's been getting worse. It's been getting worse. And it sucks. I literally have no idea what to do. So, I mean, it sucks. It really, truly sucks. But I mean, and yeah, it does have a lot to do. Like, my depression has a lot to do with this too. My depression is affected by this. And so when I get like this, when I'm on my cycle and I'm in so much pain and I want to cry, I want to scream, it's my depression. My depression just doesn't like, my depression is it's connected to it to a point. I mean, I always battle. I've been battling depression for years. I mean, it wasn't until someone told my mom that I was cutting myself that I started getting help. Like I was cutting myself since 5th grade. I've been cutting since 5th grade. Let's see, 5th grade. So I was about like 10 when I started cutting. 10, 11. Somewhere between 9 and 11, I started cutting. And I still cut. I mean, obviously, I haven't cut recently. I'm proud of that, though. I'm very proud of not having more of a breakdown recently. There's almost been times when I've broken down to do that, but I haven't yet. Like I said, I couldn't be fucked to brush my hair, so there's stragglies. I don't care. But, yeah. It's been a thing I've been battling most of my life with. Like I said, it's not cured it's not curable. By God, I wish it was. But it's not easy being a 21-year-old girl, even though I have all these issues. Not being able to get like a hysterectomy or anything like that. Because, I mean, I can almost guarantee you that, if needed, my fiance would be like, no, she needs this. I don't care. Help her. Because that's just, the last time I tried to go get a hysterectomy, I was about 18, 19. I was married at the time. Yes, I was married. If you have been around my YouTube channel for a while, you'd know I'm married. I was married. And my ex-husband actually said no to it. And my ex-husband said no to it. Because he thought I was faking it. I don't think that's not okay. Doctors having to have the husbands or spouses sign off on it. It's not okay. Even with an OBGYN's recommendation saying this needs to happen, my ex-husband still said no because he still thought I was faking it. And that's sadly how a lot of, that's sadly how a lot of these things go in life. And it pisses me off. It's like, this is something I need medically. Like, this is something that I need. And you are just going to say no to it and let me suffer? Why don't you just, why don't you deal with this for a week? Why don't you deal with this for, a couple months of your life? And then tell me that I don't need this. I don't need to have a hysterectomy or anything like that. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys are females who know this and go through this. But if you do go through this, I'm with you. 100% I am with you. This shit sucks. I've always been alone on this, save for my aunt and my mother. I've always been alone on this. I haven't met another girl, or I've never met another young woman who has PCOS. Like in my age group, my peer. I've never met anyone else who has this. And it sucks. It really does suck, and I hate it. I hate life right now. I really do hate life. Yeah, drinking tons of water does help, but I can't constantly be drinking water. I can't. Like, don't get me wrong, I love water. I love water. Water is a godsend. Obviously, it's a godsend. I love it. But I can't be drinking gallons of it. Like, I just can't. There's no feasible way for me to do that. I wish there was. Because if there's a way for me to drink just gallons upon gallons of water, I would. But, yeah. Water does help. I will say that. It does help to a certain degree. But, I'm not able to always get the tampons that I need. And that's what sucks. And now my mom found this thing called Thinx. THINX. And basically they're underwear that can, that can absorb. And so, when I'm able to, I'm going to order me a couple pairs just so I can try it out, because, if it's able to, absorb that much without leaking, I will be happy. Because then, because I'm usually one who wears a pad and tampon combo. Usually when I can. But I can't always do that because, it's a certain, it's a sensory thing for me. It's like sensory overload for me. And I hate it. Ooh. And the pain just comes in waves. It just comes in waves. I'll be okay for a few minutes and then it'll just come back full force. I mean, I'll eventually be okay. Eventually. But the first few days are really bad on me. Until my body gets used to it. This is one of the reasons why I actually support smoking. Like, I support marijuana. I support pot so much because it helps with my depression. It helps with my anxiety, my PTSD, and the cramps. It helps so much. It really does. It helps so fucking much. I mean, this is a pretty 420. This is a fairly 420 friendly channel. Very 420 friendly channel. And so, with that being said, I usually smoke on my streams, and I'm sadly out right now until Monday. Well, after Monday. And so I'm going to have to go, dress today, Saturday, and then Monday. And complete pain until I'm able to get stuff. And then and it sucks. It really sucks. Like, I don't even have the money to go get me some more tampons. And that's what sucks, is that we're going to have to take money out of our budget, mine and my fiance's budget, $100 budget for this week, to get tampons, to get bubble bath stuff for my cramps. Because the Walmart up here at least has certain bath bombs with CBD to specifically help with cramps. And as long as I'm not smoking it, I'm okay. But yeah, it just sucks. My foot itches and I can't scratch it because it tickles. But, it's one of those things where I can't specifically work because of this. Like, when I'm on it, like, every other month that I'm not on it, I'm fine to work. Like, I can work my, I can lift shit, I can do shit, but when I'm on my cycle, I can't do shit. And that's what sucks and I don't know when it's going to hit me. I don't have any forewarning. A lot of people, well, not a lot, a lot of women, who have their cycles regularly are able to tell. It's like, oh, I'm starting to cramp a little bit. I must be, my cycle must be starting soon. I don't get any of that. I don't get the pre-warning system that a lot of women have. It just like that. And I can't do anything about it. I really can't. It sucks. It hurts a lot because, like, I get called a liar for this stuff. Like, because, oh, shit. I get called a liar. I'm sucking my ear. I get called a liar a lot because of this. And it's not like, I'm not trying to be like, you know what, this isn't right, but it's not right. It's not my fault my body is like this. It's not my fault I was born like this. It's not my mother's fault either. It is, I guess, hereditary. Ooh, that is red. But at the same time, like, I didn't want to be born like this. I really didn't. I really didn't want to be born like this. And yeah, I was. And I don't know what else to do. I'm in a lot of pain. And I can't do anything about it. But, it's this is an actual medical condition. It's not particularly my fault. I never wanted to be like this. And I can't tell you how many times I've actually had male employers tell me to get over it. And I've had male employers tell me that. To get over it. Like, I'm sorry, what exactly do I need to get over? The fact that I'm in a lot of pain? Or the fact that you just don't care? And that goes for a lot of employers too. Like, I have a lot of issues. My depression, my anxiety, mainly my PTSD. And people telling me to get over it doesn't help. Especially when it comes to, like, pain and shit. I have some really bad memories when it comes to pain. So going through this, I don't go through it monthly like a lot of women do. And I'll be honest, I'm grateful that I don't. But when I do, I can't handle it. I really can't. Because I'm in constant pain. I can't just get over it. And it just, people just don't, unless they go through it themselves, they don't understand. And that's my, that's my thing. It's like, unless they go through it, they won't understand. But, I mean, I've met people who haven't gone through what I've been through, like with the PCOS, who've understand. Like, my old OBGYN out in Idaho. Okay? My OBGYN was a male. He's never gone through PCOS but he understood my pain. He's seen me when I was in pain because of it. He did an ultrasound when I was going through this. And oh my God, was he surprised to see that actually, only reason why I was in so much pain that time was because one of my cysts have actually ruptured. And so they actually had to go in. And the thing is like my insurance wouldn't cover it. And so out of him being worried about my well-being was like, I'll cover it. Look, it wasn't that much. It was just, quick get in, clean up, get out. They had to go in and clean out the ruptured cyst. And granted, I had to be awake for this, so I felt every little thing. Granted, it felt weird. Because they didn't go through the top of my head, like where the ovaries are. They had to go in through my uterus to get it cleaned up. Because where it ruptured, it was right next to my fallopian tube. And so it was, I don't even know how to explain. I don't remember how he explained it. But they had to go in and clean it up and whatnot. And it really it freaked me out. I didn't know the cysts could rupture. And with me living with this for as long as I have and not having a personal OBGYN who really cared. I mean, then again, I never really had an OBGYN who did that. There was a lot of backup because I've had several burst and not realize it. And so there's a lot of gunk he had to clean out and shit. And I felt a lot better. Which, in turn, I was able to get through that. But, yeah, it sucks. Because there's actually been a couple of hard cysts that I've had that, gave me scares because, I'm thinking, oh, I'm having cancer. Sorry, back of my ear itches. And it's the part of the ear that's like connected to the throat. And I don't understand why the ears are connected to the throat. I don't understand it. Look, I know the nose is connected to the throat because of the sinuses. But, like I said, I didn't know that you could have hard cysts. I thought you could only have cysts that, like, were, like, liquidy inside, I guess. And so when I found out I had a hard cyst, we didn't know what it was. Me and my mom, we didn't know what it was. So I started panicking, thinking, oh my God, I got cancer. I started panicking and shit. And it sucked. It sucked because, we had to do a biopsy of one. And luckily it was non-cancerous. It was a non-cancerous thing, but there's always still there's still that slight sliver of chance that, one of these times those hard cysts might not be an actual cyst, but a tumor and could be cancerous. There's always that slight sliver of chance. And it scares the shit out of me. That just slight sliver of chance, it scares the shit out of me. And I don't know what to do. I'm trying to get my insurance out here so I can go see an OBGYN and get this figured out, because I'm not going to deal with this. I've dealt with this my whole life. I'm in constant pain because of it. And I can't handle it. I really can't. There's so much pain going on right now that I'm not comfortable. I can't get comfortable. I can't go to sleep. I'm exhausted. I can't go to sleep because of it. And I want to. I can't do anything. Like, I become so sluggish and, like, lethargic that it's almost like I'm drugged. I can't focus on anything when I'm in this amount of pain. And it's not something that, like, it's not something that I take lightly either. It's not something that, like, if someone came to me and be like, hey, I'm in this pain, it's like, I'm not and I would tell them to go, because I actually had a friend of mine when I was back home, when I was in Utah, when I lived in Utah. I had a friend of mine who's actually going through what I'm going through now. And she was a younger chick. She's a younger chick. She's about I want to say she's about 19 now. But she's only a couple years young. She was about 1.5 to 2 years younger than I am. And she came to me because her mom wouldn't listen. Her mom kept telling her that it was all in her head, and, she was just making excuses not to go to school. And, I couldn't go to school when I was on my cycle. I couldn't. I literally could not get out of bed. And I would have to get doctor's notes from my actual doctor saying, she can't, I'm excusing her from at least a week and a half to 2 weeks of school because of this. And even my principal didn't believe it, but he really couldn't argue with the doctor. He had no right to argue with the doctor, so he had to let me stay out of school. Luckily, I was in a social studies group that I got all my homework done. So, but, yeah, it's, oh, God, my neck. Oh. I need my neck to pop, fuck. But, and she came to my mom because, like, we were so close that she could just walk into the house and be like, hi, Mom, I'm home, where's Raven? And so that's what she would do all the time. She came in and was like, Mom, I need some help. She called my mom, and, I loved it. She came in one day, I'm laying on the couch, heating pad over my hip area, and drinking some tea. And she comes in sobbing, and she looks like she's in pain. So I sit up, tell her to lay down, and I put the heating pad on her. And luckily we had 2 heating pads, so I hooked up the other one. I got hooked up with the other one, which wasn't as powerful as the one I gave her, but still. And she was very, very happy, like, she started crying when my mom gave her some tea, and she's like, my mom doesn't believe me about this. And it's awful. And the thing is, for the hospital, like, her mom put my mom as the emergency contact. And so, my mom, calls her mom, and she's like, look, can I take her to the hospital? There is something going on with her, and I really think it needs to be checked out. And her mom was like, "Oh, she's probably just faking it again. Just send her home." And my mom got pissed. She's like, "No, I'm taking her to the hospital." My daughter goes through the exact same thing. And it's like and it turned out to be a whole fight. All of a sudden, she started screaming in pain, and her mom was like, "What is that?" And it's like, "That's her in pain." And so her mom's like, "Fine, I'll meet you at the hospital." And so we get to the hospital, and the doctor comes back out saying she has this. It's called PCOS. Why didn't you try and get this taken care of sooner? Because she was in so much pain. A couple of their cysts on her ovaries ruptured. And it wasn't just, something that's a twinge of pain. It was something that caused a whole mess. And the doctor said that, like, if they and it was the PCOS that she had was a lot worse than mine. Because there was a lot of ovarian cancer in the family. In her family, at least, from what I remember. The doctor explicitly said to her mom, unless she wanted to deal with chemo for the next 3 to 4 years, with the small chance of it coming back, with the huge chance of it coming back, because there's a hard cyst that we're gonna get biopsied to see if it's a cancerous cell or what. If it comes back cancerous, we're gonna have to give her a hysterectomy at this age. She was about, I want to say she's about 16, because I was about 17ish. I think. I don't remember. Actually, no, I think I was about 16. She was 15, yeah. And, I mean, a hysterectomy that young, it fucked with her. It really, truly fucked with her. Because she wanted to have a big family, she wanted to be pregnant and all that. But with the chance of having ovarian cancer, she had to sacrifice that, and she knew that. And luckily her insurance covered it. Luckily. But it did, the cell that it came back, cancerous. So they did have to go through with it anyway. They had to go through with it anyway. And last I heard, she was actually able to adopt. So, I mean, yay for her. She was actually going through, trying to get registered for adoption and all that now. She's married. I believe she's married. I haven't talked to her in years. I actually haven't talked to her since I left Utah. So it's been a couple of years. It's been, like, last time I talked to her was, like, maybe a year before I moved out of Utah. So it's been a couple of years since I talked to her last. But, I hope she's doing okay. If you do, you know who you are. If you see this, I hope you're doing okay, honey. I really do hope you're doing okay. Because I'm not that much better. I'm really not. Oh, why does my ear itch all of a sudden? Oh. My jaw just popped, and that did not feel good. But, yeah. Well, there goes my rant for today. I'll probably try and do a different live later on today. My ear is so itchy, I'm sorry. Hello, my viewers. Hi, Jess. How are you? I'm not doing too good, I'll be honest. I am going through... I actually started my menstrual cycle today. And so I'm in a lot of pain because of my PCOS. I want to die. Legit, I want to die. And you know what the most fucked up thing is? Do you want to know what the most fucked up thing is? I can't afford tampons. I mean, I can. Like, I can, but that's money taken out of mine and my fiance's food budget. So, I mean, there's a couple things that I need that are going to be taken out of our budget. I don't know what I'm going to do, but there's going to be a couple things that are going to be taken out of our food budget. Some money that's going to be taken out of our food budget because I need it. Like, I need tampons. There's a certain... What's private? What? Jess, you're confusing me. But there's going to be some things taken, like money taken out of our food budget for the things I need. Like, there's a certain bubble bath I need for the pain. And then these, at least at the Walmart here, there's a couple of, like, there's a thing of bath bombs specifically with CBD specifically for cramps. So that's something else I'm going to need to get too. And I best believe I'm going to be taking a lot of hot baths. One thing I really wish I could get right now is a hysterectomy. Lucky you. I'm sorry. When I'm in this much pain, like over 3 hours ago, I took fucking medicine, and that hasn't helped me yet. I'm in a lot of pain, so I'm a little bitchy. Well, I gotta go wake up Tej for shopping, so I'm gonna have to end the stream. I'm not always like this. Jess, I love you, hon, but that's not something to really joke about. I'm not always like this. Yeah, I have my moods. But I'm in so much pain. I'm it's the pain I'm in right now, it's bad. Like, I've been on the verge of tears all day. Well, since I woke up at like 7 in the morning. I've been in so much pain, and I literally just want to keel over and die. It's bad. But I'll try and keep you guys updated on what's going on, I guess. This is actually the worst it's been since I've been having my menstrual cycles. So yeah, I'll keep y'all updated. I'll keep y'all updated, but I do gotta go. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.